Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLa, and I am so incredibly honored to welcome Alec Byrne to the show with his London Rock, The Unseen Archive. Thank you so much for being with us,
Great
Alec.
to be here, guys.
Great to have you.
You know, I have been a fan of yours and appreciated your work for many years. You have captured so many iconic musicians, The Who, The Beatles, The Stones. I can only imagine the stories you could tell. Do tell.
Well, they say if you lived in the 60s, you don't remember it or something like that. There's some great stories that I do recall to this day. And this is quite some time ago, these pictures were taken. But you'll never forget things like walking into a bedroom of Mick Jagger and two naked women in bed with him. It just happened to be a film set. It was his acting debut. The film was performance. And I had no idea what to expect. And we just walked in the door and there was Mick and two naked women. And it was like, okay. And I look across the room and I think, God, I want to stay here and shoot this. So I had to try and find a little corner to be out of the way. And as I walked past the bed, I kind of had to sit on the edge of the bed to squeeze by. And Mick is glaring at me like I'm moving in on this threesome. And so I just found the corner, and I was one of the few photographers who were allowed to shoot on that movie set.
Wow.
So there's certain things that I do remember.
Mm-hmm. But what is it about you, Alec, that allowed you that exclusive access into these moments, into this rock and roll world?
I don't know for sure, but I think some of it was I was a young kid, and
That
maybe
would usually be a barrier to entry, I would imagine.
Yeah,
think, right?
I don't understand some of it. I mean, there's the one picture with Mick and Jimi Hendrix, Mick Jagger and Jimi Hendrix, that the first time they were photographed. And I just saw, I was there for a taping of Hendrix at BBC, and at the corner of my eye, I see Mick Jagger. And as soon as Hendrix finishes his set, he walks over and the two of them are there, and I was just turned 18 years old, literally the day before. And I went up to them and said, guys, can you just stand together? And I'm directing these two music icons. And you have to think, who's this kid with a camera? You know, how did he get in? So I just assumed I was young and wasn't threatening.
But in the era of the selfie now, it's much different than, you're capturing someone's spirit. You're capturing a moment, in essence, that is not necessarily coming through on Instagram these days, right? So what is it when you are doing your art and you are engaging with a spirit? This is a spiritual, there's spirit of this person. What is it that you are holding in your consciousness? What is it that you are looking to capture?
One of the most important things you have to do is make them feel comfortable. There's no way that you can be brash and, too controlling. I mean, there's a certain amount of direction that you have to apply because you're trying to get your picture. But if you're overpowering, you lose that connection with people. So I think you have to walk this fine line and to gain this sort of knowledge as a young kid, I guess looking back, I looked at some of the work and I'm thinking, wow, how the hell did I do that?
By 17, you were working with 4 different major British publications. How did you get to that point?
I guess just totally focused on work. So I didn't hang out and drink tequila with these rock and rollers. I very much was, okay, I'm here to shoot, and then I want to go back to the studio, and I've got to get these pictures for the cover of this magazine.
But why photography? I mean, were you born with a camera in your hand?
No, I wasn't. I was doing this kind of dead-end job as a dispatch rider in Fleet Street, which is the center of the news business in Europe. And I was in the darkroom, and I saw my first print come up in the dish, and I was hooked.
Wow.
From that moment on, it was like, wow, how did that happen? And I needed some more of that, and then you're hooked. So you go out and you shoot everything. The family cat, the parents, you shoot everything. And that's basically how it started, and then sent pictures into magazines and just persevered.
So tell us about your Ron all this whole thing, the event, what is it called exactly?
It's about the photo archive, and obviously in combination with the book. And this show that we're doing at Ron Robinson in Santa Monica, which you're
We
all
love him, by the
invited
way.
to.
Such a sweetheart.
He's an amazing man. And we, out of the blue, because of the success of the book, out of the blue, we got a Facebook message from some woman in China who said, I've got a box of your pictures and slides. Like, really?
Wow.
So it was like, and this long story short was her sister worked at a magazine here in LA. The magazine was closing, they were getting rid of the material. She said, wow, the Rolling Stones, I should save these. So tonight at Ron Robinson, I'm going to meet this woman who was so generous in saving this and sending these pictures from China to here. So they're going to be shown tonight, and the show is going to be there for at least a month in Santa Monica. So check it out.
Wow, what a great story.
Right? When you have moments like that, of course, you're grateful, but do you also feel surprised a little as you look back over the course of your life and seeing how far you've come and how much you've accomplished?
This book really should never have been published. In 1972, I had a devastating fire at my studio in London. Thousands of negatives were destroyed. When I quit the music biz and moved to Hollywood, I shipped everything over during the crossing, water damage, and hundreds of negatives were destroyed. And then I had an office around the corner here on Hollywood Boulevard. And in 94, I think it was, we had the Northridge earthquake. My building was red tagged.
Wow.
No negatives destroyed, but damaged. So taking all that into consideration, it's pretty amazing that there's still this volume of work here that made it to the book, which makes it even more special that Linda found these pictures and is now added to the archive.
Oh.
Just
So it really is touching.
Oh, well, I'm
Thank you so
so excited that we're going to be able to witness this incredible moment, you meeting Linda and experiencing the treasures that she is.
I'm really looking forward to meeting her. What a generous person to actually reach out and return these images. So
nice.
looking forward to that.
So, Alec, please remind everyone where they can get the archive.
I guess my name is the simplest way to do it, alecbyrne.com. And on there, there'll be links with Instagram, Facebook, and everything else, I guess.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you
an
so
honor
much.
to meet you.
Great to be
Stay
here.
tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning
Great
La La
to be
Land.
here.